The year 2020 is drawing to a close. Looking back on this year, it's been such a hard time because of this unexpected pandemic. But today I've prepared for you an exciting basic company introduction. Joyful with my good health and business in Mokpo, I am Star Master Eun Young-ju. How do I look, everyone? Just 5 years ago, I used to get tonsil problems in chilly weather. I always had a hard time in the fall and winter, but I look much better now, right? In preparation for this lecture, I went down memory lane. I majored in social welfare with the dream to help vulnerable people, and I worked hard as an employee. But company work was not fulfilling my financial needs, much less my dreams. So I thought of an alternative, which was to get married. Thankfully, I married a capable man who was respected by others. In Mokpo, we opened a major franchise coffee shop branch. I had a stable husband and 3 lovable children. I thought I had achieved the life that I wanted. While living a complacent life, I started to feel the world changing faster than I thought. First, the population of Mokpo, especially young people, began decreasing. More and more coffee chain branches opened up. Obviously, our sales started dropping every day. Then there was a decisive turning point. A Starbucks opened up near our coffee shop. You can imagine what this meant for our business. Sales fell even more, and we went into a battle for survival. I said I ran a franchise coffee shop branch, right? We had over 10 employees, and it was a large, well-known coffee shop in Mokpo. Honestly, before I heard about Starbucks opening up, I didn't know what a self-employed crisis meant. I thought it had nothing to do with me. Even if it took a lot of money, I thought that a major franchise coffee chain was secure. Secondly, I thought that I could prepare for old age through stable income. Until then, I was confident that it was the best choice. But I started to doubt my decision. I lived a diligent life and didn't slack off. Yet, I felt the fear of being pushed aside and falling behind the times. Do you know this feeling? It was hard for me to accept the fact that even large franchises could fail if they didn't change with the times. Because I was always self-employed, naturally I started looking into the future of self-employment. Do you know the total number of self-employed people in Korea? It's about 5.65 million people. This means that 25.1% of all employed people are self-employed. In the US, a developed country, it's 6.3%. It's far higher in Japan at 10.3%. In addition, self-employed businesses have a survival rate of 28.5% after 5 years. Most self-employed businesses start with debt. 95% of them go bankrupt early because of competition. So what can they do? They pay back their debts with more debt. This awful, vicious cycle continues. If I feel this way as someone who chose self-employment, I can't imagine how people forced to retire and start their own business must feel. You've probably heard this at least once. Stories of people who open small businesses after quitting their jobs. Are they doing well? It's a relief if they are. But in most cases, they've spent all their severance and are in debt. It's a common story of working hard but not getting rewarded. That's when I started looking for new ventures. With less competition and consistent revenue. I searched for something that could securely prepare me for old age. But I never considered network marketing. I'd never done it before. But I was vaguely prejudiced against having to recruit lots of people. Then one day, I was introduced to Atomy. Looking back, my sponsor's words touched me more than the business itself. My sponsor talked about priorities and overcoming the past to choose a new job. Now we're in the centenarian age. We can't live to 100 with just one job. There comes a time when you have to choose a second or third job. We talked about which job to choose. There's a limit to labor income. In the centenarian age, income must consistently increase. Our children will live in a more fiercely competitive world. Therefore, it's important to build a consistently increasing income structure system. In the rapidly developing Fourth Industrial Revolution age, 80% of our current jobs will disappear. However, as daily necessity consumption continues, businesses that distribute them are adequately competitive. When I got home, I couldn't get those words out of my head. Of course, there are people who get steady copyright royalties from their original productions, like famous songwriters. Some people get monthly income from renters. These people are born with silver spoons. But how can we make this kind of income through Atomy? I couldn't help but wonder. So I ended up going to the seminar. I got intrigued by Atomy's systematized income and its competitiveness. So I started looking into Atomy business. I looked it up, watched videos, and asked around. When I started looking into Atomy, I got the same reaction from family and friends. They worried about me and opposed it. They asked me, "Why are you doing this?" This is what I heard the most. Even now, it's interesting. I think I was trying to find an easy alternative whenever I ran into problems, just like marriage. But this time, I felt nauseous, and I debated it. Were the people who worried about me experts on Atomy? Did they suffer some loss from it? Why were the people who trusted me so opposed to it? After much consideration, I decided that they just had negative prejudices against MLMs. For the first time ever, I didn't give in. This decision changed my life. The biggest reason I insisted on choosing this path was because of the systematized income. As I mentioned before, there are a few ways to earn systematized income. First, a building with monthly rental income. Second, an original production with copyright royalties. Third, a publication with royalties. And fourth, a national pension plan you've joined from an early age. But there's one other way. It's Atomy. You can make a profit off the spending power of your Atomy consumer base. This is systematized, not labor income. This is what made my heart race. And another important aspect I looked at were the products. It's a trend these days, right? Have you heard of picky consumers, check-sumers? They check products carefully from a truly picky consumer standpoint. The very first thing I checked was product price competitiveness. Generally, for a product to be price competitive, you have to cut costs through mass production in-house. It's possible for a big company. One of the reasons I thought that MLM products were expensive was because the contractor bonus was included in the product price. I thought it would be difficult to do consistent business with high prices. So I had to check whether Atomy really supplied good products at low prices. The first product I looked at was Atomy laundry detergent. From experience with running a household, I knew a lot about detergents. I was a loyal consumer of a German brand. I was satisfied with its efficacy and eco-friendliness. But Atomy laundry detergent was just as good as the German brand, and much more affordable. When I asked my sponsor about it, she said that both detergents were made by the same manufacturer. When I looked at the back, I saw in tiny letters, "Made in Korea." In clear print, Evercose was the manufacturer. I was surprised that it was really the same manufacturer, and that it was manufactured by a mid-sized Korean company. So the fact that an Atomy product was the same quality but had a lower price than the one I used and trusted, and that my necessary expenses could become income made me look further. This time, I looked at Atomy's Hemohim and cosmetics. It didn't take long this time either. Hemohim and our main cosmetic supplier was Komar B&H. Komar B&H is the leading research company co-founded by Komar Korea and Carey. Korean women will probably have heard of this company. It's Korea's leading cosmetics manufacturer. When I looked into the company, I could see why. The company's biggest specialty was its distribution method. Atomy is its sole distributor. The products are without a doubt high quality, coming from researchers at a trusted company. Since Atomy is the exclusive distributor, it doesn't pay for R&D. Also, it has member-based promotion, so it doesn't pay for promotions. It can sell the best products at the lowest prices without worrying about distribution margins. With these absolute quality, absolute price products, repurchases happen spontaneously. Now that we've looked at the products, let's look at the company. I checked the data on MLMs that are released every year. I found data on Atomy since it first began. I carefully compared it to other companies. If this is your first time with Atomy, I will give you some data from 2019. In 2019, Atomy surpassed $1 billion in sales for the first time in 11 years. Atomy and Amway were the only MLM companies in the 1 billion club in 2019. Something to note here is the growth rate. Atomy is a company that has been growing for 10 years in a row. The difference between stagnant and sustained growth is very significant, because this is a trust-based business. To put it another way, stagnation or decline in growth is due to losing trust from the market. Atomy's annual global sales have surpassed $1.5 billion. There's another piece of interesting data. Hemohim has topped the list of best-selling products in the industry for 6 years in a row. As a single-item product, it made over $1 billion in sales as well. Atomy Absolute Cell Active Skincare was second, and Skincare the Fame was fifth. Among the top 5 best-selling products, 3 were from Atomy. Isn't it amazing? After checking Atomy's scale and growth, I turned to its company philosophy. To know an MLM, you have to look at its company philosophy. It's about the CEO's worldview. A company that puts consumers' interests first. That's Atomy's guiding principle. Atomy is based on the management goals of customer success, distribution hub, and premier company, with being, speed, and balance as its business philosophy. It has a small but big company and a delicate management policy. Have you noticed the difference between Atomy and other companies? Atomy made a very specific management plan for a consumer interest-oriented company philosophy. The longer I do Atomy business, the more impressed I get by this. Even after becoming a global company with over $1 billion in sales, it's kept to this philosophy. As this management philosophy is part of Atomy's competitiveness, it confirmed my choice. After confirming Atomy's products and vision, all I had to do was work hard to succeed. With my resolution, I boldly closed down 3 of the shops I'd been running. But it didn't go well at first. I felt overwhelmed by the pressure to share products and wasn't good at it. But as I consumed Atomy products diligently, people started asking me about them. As I mentioned before, my tonsils were weak. When I stopped coughing, people kept asking questions like, "You always coughed, but now you're looking good. What are you taking?" Or they asked, "Did you get something done? Your skin looks great." Maybe because of these changes, more people started using the products. In this process, Atomy's strongest point came into play. In fact, when you start a business, people buy from you a few times out of loyalty. I have many products and insurance plans that I bought this way. But if the product's quality is bad, I won't buy it again. On the other hand, if the product is okay, but too expensive, I won't buy it either. But as we saw before, Atomy products are absolute quality, absolute price, and easier on the wallet. There are many satisfied consumers. In my case, my friends started reordering. Other company contractors have a hard time explaining why their products are expensive. On the other hand, Atomy contractors and I have a hard time explaining how we can sell such good products at such low prices. If you buy and use products from Atomy and spread the word, obviously you'll start getting satisfied consumers. Then you get reorders. And when you keep using and sharing Atomy products, you'll get your first $70 Atomy compensation. It's a memorable experience. Your PVs accumulate one by one and don't disappear, so that you get a bonus compensation. When I studied social work, I saw truly vulnerable people and only had vague dreams about a life of giving. After meeting Atomy, I got more specific dreams. Just by selling good products at low prices, is a life of giving and sharing possible? No. You need a reasonable and fair compensation plan. When I first heard the explanation, I was most interested in the part about no registration fees. I was well aware that when I started any business, the initial membership fee covered bad purchases, interior costs, and various other costs. I took this as a given. But Atomy doesn't have a registration, entry, or maintenance fee. It's a compensation plan with undeniable benefits. And the fact that there's no initial investment is a key attraction if you are self-employed. I was also amazed at infinite levels and accumulation of PVs. As I mentioned earlier, not only with MLMs, but widely used carrier and mileage points also expire after a certain period of time. But with Atomy, you can accumulate infinitely up to 300,000 PVs until you get compensation. When I first heard the compensation plan explanation, I worried needlessly about whether the company could be profitable. Atomy's product quality is amazing, and it has absolute prices. Yet contractors don't pay entry fees? And you can accumulate infinite PVs? These were natural questions to ask as a self-employed manager. But this compensation plan was probably a given within Atomy. From the standpoint of Atomy's company philosophy, With consumer interest and customer success at the center, having no entry fee was obvious. Infinite accumulation is to be expected. All these things were a given at Atomy. Think about it. No, compare it. In a simple system that compensates based on certain conditions, Atomy's eliminated the deadline. This solves the biggest problem that most MLMs face, namely end-of-month hoarding. Atomy structurally prevents excessive operations through a compensation ceiling. If you share good products with consumers, you can be a success. This is a compensation plan for members' success right here. You can feel the difference with its range in compensation. Since I had no experience in network marketing, I studied hard. Of course, I looked at other companies' compensation plans too. They were so complicated that I couldn't understand them. On the other hand, Atomy's plan was simple enough to understand after one explanation. There are 4 types of commission, including general commission, multi-matching bonus, education commission, and mastership bonus. When you buy Atomy products, you get point values, or PVs. Compensation is paid out based on PVs. Now let's find out about Atomy's flagship general commission. First of all, general commission is calculated every day. Let's say you get 300,000 PVs through infinite accumulation. Then, the combined PVs of your left and right customer groups reach 300,000 PVs each. After that, the company gives you 15 points, which times the unit amount of commission equals your compensation, which is calculated every week. Calculation starts on Wednesdays, and you get paid on the following Tuesdays. General commission requires accumulating up to 300 points from yourself and your downline groups. If you multiply 300 points by the unit amount of commission, you get around $1,300 a day at our 300-point compensation ceiling. General commission is your total PVs, which is the sum of PVs from your left and right consumer groups. Simple, right? Next is the multi-matching bonus, which from the 1st to the 15th, 16th to the last day will be paid out twice a month. Atomy has 7 masterships. The first mastership is Sales Master. The Sales Master accumulates a total of 700,000 PVs and accumulates over 2.5 million PVs in their left and right consumer groups in 15 days. As a Sales Master, you get an additional $500 multi-matching bonus. The great thing is that we don't need another 2.5 million PVs. The PVs we accumulated for getting general commission get counted again. For 2.5 million PVs, we need to get 300,000 PVs 8 times, right? So, if you combine the general commission and the multi-matching bonus, you can get around 1,000 per 15 days and 2,000 a month. The next mastership is where Atomy blooms for its own and members' growth and success. If you bring 2 people up to your mastership level from each side, you can be promoted to the next mastership. If you make 2 sales masters from each side, you become a diamond master. If you make 2 diamond masters from each side, you become a Sharon Rose master. I started as a picky consumer with no experience with network marketing, but now I'm a shining star master. I worked hard to lead my partners and make 2 Sharon Rose Masters. Once you get promoted, you'll also get a promotion to celebrate. Sales Masters get a promotion certificate and Atomy's flagship products. Diamond Masters get a promotion certificate and a tablet PC. They also get Atomy's flagship products. Starting with Sharon Rose Masters, cash and travel promotions are given. The company gives $2,000 in cash and a 4-day overseas trip for 2. Star Masters get $10,000 in cash and a 4-day overseas trip for 4. I've gotten up to this much. Our family had a great time on our trip. Royal Masters get $50,000 in cash, general activity commission of $2,000 a month, and a sedan rental fee. Also, an 11-day overseas trip for 4. Crown Masters get the same travel promotion and $300,000 in cash, general activity commission of $5,000, and a luxury sedan. Now is the long-awaited Imperial Master. You get $1 million via forklift truck. You get $10,000 a month for general commission activities, a luxury sedan, a 165 square meter studio office, a personal assistant, and a chauffeur. And of course, there's an 11-day overseas trip for 4. How is it? It'd be great for all of us to become Imperial Masters as soon as possible. Finally, the Education Commission. Atomy is both a group and education business, so there are Atomy education centers operating across Korea. I run an education center in Mokpo. There's an Education Commission for heads of centers who operate education centers for members. If you're new to Atomy today, it may be hard to get all of this. That's understandable. I was like that too. But I'd like you to remember just one thing. This business is very simple. If you sell good products for cheap, consumers will come. Atomy does its best to keep this simple principle of distribution. It provides products of unbeatable absolute quality and absolute price. Atomy's mass-stage product strategy has grown sales in a simple system that provides compensation for members. Once I was sure of this, I worked very hard at my Atomy business. Atomy business starts with trust. You have to trust the company, your sponsor, your partner, and yourself. I participated in the seminars regularly and studied the system at the center with diligence and faith, as my sponsor told me to do. To change the future, you must change the present. As my thoughts changed through Atomy, so did my actions and habits. Of course, my life changed as well. I was a 20-year-old woman who wanted to take care of others by becoming wealthy. Now, I'm a leader at Atomy. I've been able to take care of both my own and my parents' old age. Since I've always dreamed of giving back, I started taking care of elderly people living alone. I've become an Atomy leader who cherishes the spirit and creates the vision. While preparing for this lecture, I was interviewed by staff at the headquarters. They asked me this: "What's been the biggest change for you since meeting Atomy?" I thought about it carefully. After a lot of thinking, my partners came to mind. I thought of the joy I got from going to meet them. Before Atomy, travel felt like a chore. There was a lot to prepare for a difficult journey. Thus, I hardly ever left Mokpo, where I was born and raised. But to meet my wonderful partners, I've gone to major cities all over the country. I truly enjoyed traveling to places I'd never even thought of visiting. So the biggest change for me was travel. What was a chore became a pleasure. After coming back from the mastership promotion trip, my kids asked me this: "Mom, when do we go on the Atomy trip again?" I'm grateful to Atomy because it's given me wealth and allowed me to recover my forgotten dreams. I'm still dreaming and running hard to become a royal master. And soon enough, I can go on an 11-day promotion trip with my kids. It's touching to be able to dream, but I'm even more grateful to be making my dreams come true through my efforts. My dream in November 2020 may be a simple dream to others, but as much as I grow with Atomy, new dreams that I'd never thought of will come up and come true. If you're looking into Atomy or you're just starting, I'll summarize. You don't need capital in Atomy. No experience is needed. Age doesn't matter. Education doesn't matter. As President Park said, Atomy is a company that sells cosmetics but doesn't even look at appearance. Anyone can succeed as long as they join the Atomy system with a sponsor who leads them and a partner they can work with. Lastly, I'd like to wrap up with this newspaper article from November 3rd. People in their 50s fear retirement. Real income decreased by $250 per month over 10 years, according to data from a survey on living conditions for middle-aged Koreans. Economic polarization and wage peak systems have caused real income for the middle-aged to decline every year, and they are not even prepared for old age beyond the national pension system. This is the bleak picture of our old age. In our parents' generation, if you saved up, you could buy your own house. And the national pension guaranteed a relatively stable old age. But for our old age, we have to be fully prepared. I'll conclude with a question. Are you looking forward to your old age in your 100s? This has been Star Master Eun Young-ju.